Now, a different topic, the void itself. The void is a place of purgatory for some, or a place where you go to be quiet, meditate without being disturbed by any sort of other energy other than what the void's own energy is itself. The thing is, once you're in the void, you have to be able to find your way out. Now, an anchor point is the only way to get in and out of this place. Like, say, you were to go in a maze and you had an infinite amount of string. That's the only way you would find your way out. You get so lost in the void that you can't really find your way out with having a navigational tool. Much in the same way, I have many ways of navigating the void. I've gone there myself. I've done things there that I'd rather say for a different time, or if I can, I'll fit in this video. Nonetheless, it's disorienting. It will get you killed if you do not, if you turn the wrong direction. And, well, if you stay put there for too long, well, you can go mad. I think that's pretty much the reason why the void is such a literal gray area. Some areas of the void are completely total pitch black. Other areas are blank white. You can't see, it's so bright there that you can't understand what is there. But the gray and white areas are less lethal, I guess you could say, because there are no creatures that would want to inhabit that area of the void. The black area, I guess you could say, is the biggest lure for all creatures that would want to harm you. I issued a warning a while back that a few of those creatures got out from the second void. There are 2 voids that are known. The second void is the most hostile because it is all black. The first void is, because it's in such close proximity to the third dimension, is nonetheless inhabitable, which is probably why the Nephilim want to stay there for so long. So much to be learned about them, but anyways, getting off track there. I do believe that there was one instance where I went to the second void and a structure, if you could call it that was visible by my third eye, contained 2 souls, from which this structure, if you could call it that, contained 2 souls. And I do mean literally contained. If they were imprisoned there, it took an entire squadron of archangels just to be able to get them out. It was not without my alarming notice that once they were freed, in a sense from which I do not wish to speak of, is rather taboo, and among dimensional culture, you could say. Nonetheless, when we were finished, and started to withdraw through the, I guess you could say, portal to the second void. There were beings waiting just around the ring of that portal to attack. It took quite a few tactical maneuvers just to get through that portal nonetheless. Even after which, they started to try to follow us through. The barrier in front of that portal Another interruption, yet again by dogs. Really must be a dog day. It was slowly being battered down by these creatures. One in specific that I know for a fact you must never try to encounter, ever. It is called the King of Chaos for a reason. It is so powerful that even a simple archangel just out of basic training wouldn't be able to deal with it. I myself was having a hard time keeping it at bay. Nonetheless, I, with a few other archangels, was able to. There were losses, of course, but not so heavy that we were not able to do our best to contain the second void once more. That's the only time we ever do go into the second void is to make maps of it or show where these creatures are so we can avoid or get around them without conflict. The only time that we ever do go to these areas is if there are souls in danger, which by my own saying and what I experienced, yes, we had to go for them. We had to get them. We do not allow a single soul to suffer unless we allow it. Still, that was quite a while back. I granted was still considered a I guess you could say bounty hunter. There's no real other word for it. Nonetheless, when I finally found out about these two souls, I was absolutely by moral obligated to go after them. I couldn't think of anything else other than helping them. Why? Well, why wouldn't some archangel go after them, or in my case, an ex-archangel not try to go after them? I couldn't help myself. It was part of who I was at the time. For now, I'm just sitting around doing my own thing with my own family and doing what I can. Nonetheless, the second void, do your best to get through any portal you can to bypass this, because it will either make you stronger, or it will end up forcing you from existence. You have to be tough, brave, or very, very stupid just to be able to get into that main portal, as we call it. Nonetheless, a few of them were let out. They've corralled them back into the second void, and as I know, a few are straggling around the dimension somewhere. A small cost for two souls that long have been suffering there without need or I can't bring myself to say it. Nonetheless, they were there for a long time. I can't say how long, because their sense of time is obscured. Time itself in the void is practically non-existent. I have to respect them for hanging on for as long as they did. Even so, or whatever you want to call it, the prison that they were in, the thing that captured them, it was using them. Feeding on them. As a result, by the time we freed them, it was at least a mercy. For them to live any longer in that place would be I can't. I'm sorry. It's just hard for me to say it. Is knowing what that place was like and getting them out of there, I just... Even with the tools that I knew would help, just knowing what would happen after, I just guess that my own humanity is, no, I know that my own humanity is catching up with me just by recalling such things. Have to respect them. I have to respect the Valkyrie archangels, everyone else who helped. The sheer sacrifice that they take day in and day out in human time is dramatic. Maybe not the Valkyrie per se, because they're so well trained that more often or not, every time at least 10,000 beings fall before them or are captured, they only lose one. They're that powerful. I know that much. It's hard to say how much that dimensional travel is limited by such things as the void, or how we move through all these portals without knowing how they were made, or how they are protected, for that matter. I say a mental prayer of blessing every single day, or every chance that I can get. Blessing those that protect us. I'm blessing those who will inevitably be the next one to return back to source. I guess it goes a little, something like this. Blessed are those who protect us. Blessed are those who will allow us to be. Blessed are those who allow all to exist. Blessed are those who fall before thee. Blessed are those who allow very little. Blessed are those who live. Blessed are those who live the longest. Blessed are those who exist among those. Blessed are the wicked, for they know not what they do. Blessed are those who are who do not know they are wicked, for they will find peace. In some way, it gives a little bit of comfort. It keeps going on from that, but every wish, I guess you could say, that you makes a small impact. The intent behind it is still the same. Bring light to where there is none. Bring love to what cannot be loved. Not in a normal sense. We exist. We ascend to become immortal. We experience even more, and then eventually we pass on a little bit of that energy of ourselves when we can experience no more, or feel that we have experienced so much that it's too much. To fade once more from existence, to give more to others that will come after us. These old tired eyes have seen so much. At least it feels like I'm old. When you experience so much, you start to feel very little. There is one being that started me on this path that I specifically couldn't have done without. I guess you could say the original human warrior. The first warrior, Orion. The first hunter. First trapper. He is among many. A very well respected individual. Because he actually has that individuality that no other being could possibly have. Some envy him for it. Me, I just know that without him, maybe I wouldn't be where I am today.